we pray. Kneeling low, hear what we say. Freedom calls in every tone. Faith is built on hearts of stone. Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp, they cut right through. Real talk for the soul's appeal. Prayers rise up the wounds they heal. Lift our voices to the sky. A righteous perspective high. On this path we won't back down. For the Father wears the crown. Each step brings another fight. Breaking chains, we're seeking light. Voice of power won't be tamed. With His love, we're never ashamed. Lift our voices to the sky. A righteous perspective high. On this path we won't back down. For the Father wears the crown. From the ashes we shall rise. Hope is found deep in our eyes. Every word a battle cry. With the Father none deny.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to ARP in the morning. I am your host, Wise, and I appreciate you guys pulling up this morning as always. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support. We got a great show today. We got a lot to get into, multiple stories and multiple situations to cover today. Before we get started, I definitely want to show some love in the chat. We won't spend a whole lot of time on it because it seems like, man, you know, 10, 15 minutes before the video actually gets started or before the show actually gets started, just showing love. But we won't spend too much time, but I want to make sure that I show a little bit of love to those that have pulled up first thing in the morning. Shout out to Marianne. Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate the love. Fresno, California in the building. Shout out to you, sister. What's going on? Regina, West Virginia Wire in the building. Shout out. What's up, Scott John, PK Krillin? What's going on with you? Brad McLeo. We got Big Job Ford in the house. Appreciate you pulling up. We got Airmar in the building. Shout out to you, brother. Mississippi in the building. Let me know where you're tuning in from. City, state, country. This thing is going international, man, and it's just such a humbling experience. It really is. You know, ARP at 9:30 in the morning. I wasn't for sure if we were going to get or be able to, you know, really get an audience at this time. But it's been such a blessing, man. The morning show has been phenomenal. As you can see today, man, I'm rocking my God Over Money hat. Shout out to, you know, one of my favorite rappers out there, Bizzle, faith-based artist, man. And the dude just spits nothing but just fire for the Lord. And if you haven't checked out Bizzle, man, you should definitely check out his music, Bizzle. Shout out to him, man. Appreciate the love, though. I appreciate you guys pulling up. Like I said, we got a great show today. What's going on, Kenny G? What's going on with you? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Shout out to the Blues as they siphon or cycle in the day. Appreciate you all. Shout out to my guy, Gerard Caswell, kicking things off with the $5 super chat. God bless you, brother. He says, according to God's work, I have been made the righteousness of God in Christ. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 21. May everyone in the ARP family be blessed. Praise the Lord. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. Shout out to you, man. Shout out. And once again, shout out to Gerard Caswell, gifting one ARP family membership. God bless you, brother. I appreciate you supporting the channel. I definitely do. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you all. If you did receive the gift from Gerard, make sure you show him some love. Make sure you do that. Make sure you show Gerard some love today. Man, I really, really appreciate it, man. And hopefully we'll be able to get my guy Marcelo on today. We had a miscommunication. We were trying to get him on yesterday, and I missed the text message, but I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, because if not, I'll have alerts coming through on my daggone computer. It's a mess. So I don't like to do that. So, I try to get things, try to keep things organized and keep myself from being distracted, while we get this thing popping. Shout out to you, Quincy James. Appreciate you pulling up as always. Appreciate you pulling up. What's going on, David? How you doing this morning? What's up, Marla? How you doing this morning? True Texan in the building. What's going on with you, brother? Let's get the show kicked off, man. Like I said, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to get into today. So let's get things started, man. As I always say, super chats will stop the show. Super thanks will stop the show. Be read or acknowledged. Anybody that joins the ARP family during the show, they will be acknowledged. Anybody that gifts an ARP family membership, that will stop the show and they will be acknowledged. All right. So if you want to support the channel in another way, there is a link down in the description box. You can buy your man a coffee. That link's down there somewhere if you'd like to support the channel, in another way. The number one way, obviously, to support the channel is to hit that like button for me. Share this stream with those that need to see it. We're trying something new today. We are streaming on X. Shout out to the folks on X if you're watching. We're streaming on Instagram. Shout out to those on Instagram if you're watching. Appreciate you all pulling up. If you are not following me on X or on Insta, the handles and all that kind of good stuff, it's in the description box below. Take some time, man. Go come follow us on X, on Instagram. Come do that for you. All right. Appreciate you all. Let's get the show going. Give me 1 second here. Man, I tell you, these crazy people, man, these crazy, radical, lefty loonies.
And the donor class can't just sit back on the sidelines and say, oh, well, don't worry, this will all work itself out. They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump. And that's a fact. And the donor class can't just sit.
Yeah, so there you have it. Man, these people are crazy, and we're going to jump right into it. Shout out to each and every person that has pulled up thus far. Please make sure that you hit the like button for me. But let's get right into it real fast. Let's get right into it, because I think that this clip perfectly, encapsulates what's going on with this whole attack against Tesla. It encapsulates all of it. I mean, this is, unhinged, borderline dangerous, and a perfect example of how far the left has fallen. I mean, Wilson's not just targeting Musk, he's targeting American innovation, jobs, and free speech. We know that free speech is, the Democrats' kryptonite. They despise free speech. And Tesla's, they've been creating these electric vehicles, gigafactories, clean energy solutions, employing tens of thousands of American workers. I've been talking about this for a while. Elon Musk employs well over 100,000 Americans in this country. But Wilson's cheering for its destruction because Musk backs Trump. America's under attack by these radical leftists, and guys like Wilson are fanning the flames. And the administration's not having it anymore. They're just not. They're tired of it. They're sick of it. Look at what Attorney General Pam Bondi had to say about those who are attacking Tesla, the Tesla dealerships and Tesla owners check out what she had to say, about these people. Yes, and it's about daggone time, to be honest with you.
You targeted someone, if you went after someone because of their political affiliation, we will be investigating you. We will be looking at you because that's the weaponization, and it has to stop. For instance, look what they're continuing to do, as I said, to Elon Musk. They are targeting Tesla dealerships, the stations where you charge a Tesla. They're vandalizing cars. I have already directed an investigation be opened to see how is this being funded, who is behind this, doing this. We have people we're locking up on that. We have someone in jail right now from one of the dealerships. They threw a Molotov cocktail through a dealership. They're looking at up to 20 years in prison. So if you're going to touch a Tesla, go to a dealership, do anything, you better watch out because we're coming after you.
Wow.
And
Well,
if you're
yep.
funding this, we're coming after you. We're going to find out who you are.
Oh yeah, and just the other day, and I don't have the clip. I couldn't get the clip, and honestly, I don't know if it's even worth getting the clip. But somebody tried to throw a Molotov cocktail. I guess it slipped out their hand and burnt themselves up. I hate to even laugh at that because it's just so crazy, but yeah, that's what happened. And this situation right here, man, the only problem is that they better start nipping this stuff in the bud ASAP. They have to. I mean, we need to see these people actually face the consequences of their actions. And shout out to I missed somebody. Oh, shout out to Marie Nuss, or is it Noose? Nuss. Shout out to you for joining the ARP family. Appreciate the love. Thank you very much. But these people definitely have to face the consequences, and they need to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. They have to set an example for the rest of these crazy people. Because come on now, you can disagree with someone, you cannot like a political party, you can do all of that. I don't have a problem with that. Shout out to Chop this morning for the $5 super chat. He says, morning, looks like it's a good time to buy Tesla stock. It's a bit low now, but that will change. These Dems will make us wealthy. I'm not a financial advisor, but I don't have anything, I don't see anything wrong with what Chop just said. Yeah, the stock is down right now, but I mean, Tesla stock for the most part has been a good stock to purchase. If any of you guys are looking at any of the index or look at any of the index funds out there, they all own Tesla stock, every last one of them. So, but I'm not a financial advisor. But shout out to Chop for the $5 super chat. Thank you. Again, like I said, you can disagree with someone. You can disagree with someone's politics. You can not like the policies. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I have zero problem with that. But when you start attacking people for the car that they drive because you don't like Elon, you don't like Tesla, you don't like President Trump, that's where you're crossing the line. And it gets me to thinking the other day, when Elon helped to rescue those astronauts stuck in space for 9 months, that story should have been a huge moment of national unity. It should have been. What up, RJ? Excuse me. It should have been a huge moment of national unity. It should have been. Elon Musk, SpaceX successfully rescued astronauts who had been stranded in space for nearly 10 months. An American company helped rescue these astronauts. And the media barely covered it. The media barely covered it. I mean, these people are ridiculous, man. That just goes to show you that legacy media is cooked. They are, man. They're biased, and their only job is to push the agenda of that the Democrat Party tells them to push. Simple as that. And while the media ignored Musk's, the massive accomplishment, they also ignored something else happening at the same time. They ignored Tesla dealerships across the country being targeted in what appears to be a coordinated wave of left-wing attacks. And the Democrats, they got no problem. They're cheering this whole thing on. They're cheering it on. They're hoping and praying that Tesla implodes. This is an American company that hires thousands of Americans. And they're cheering for its downfall. They're cheering for its downfall. It's ridiculous, man. And Tim Walz the other day, his comments, I mean, this dude's a piece of work, man. He really is. He's a dirtbag, to be honest with you. He really is. Tim Walz commented the other day, getting all giddy that Tesla stock dropped, and well, the White House has something to say about it. The White House has something to say about it. Take a look at this. Give me a second. Governor Walz is a freaking clown, man. Yet this guy wants to be president. Unbelievable, man.
One more on Tesla, Caroline. Tim Walz, Governor Walz, saying last night he frequently checks Tesla stock. In doing so, to quote, give me a little boost during the day. How should Americans view politicians who take pride in the downfall of an American car company?
I think that's quite sad, but I think Governor Walz unfortunately is living a sad existence after his devastating defeat on November 5th.
Yeah. Sad, very sad existence. Very sad existence. Dude is a clown. What type of person that wants to be president celebrates the downfall of an American company? What type of person does that? Seriously. What type of person celebrates the downfall of an American company that hires and employs hundreds of thousands of Americans? I mean, these comments, right off the cuff are spectacular. But now, if this were happening to any Democrat-aligned company, the media would be in full outrage mode. Because you guys know that, but because it's Elon Musk and Tesla, they don't seem to care. They don't care if they're hurting people, who share their worldview. And it's just like Sir Michael Singleton says, you guys got to see this for yourself. But what he says here is absolutely, he's spot on. Spot on right here.
Tim Walz is a complete moron to me. I have to be very honest. And I'm not surprised why the American people did not choose him. Nothing against the vice president. With that said, Elon Musk employs 80+ thousand Americans. Most of them are working class people. The implications of the stock, let's say this were to continue on for another year. So I'm just throwing out a hypothetical. Will the company at some point have to decrease its workplace? Most of those people, I would imagine, probably vote for Democrats, at least some of them. So now you're impacting people who likely share your worldview because you disagree with Elon Musk. Don't buy the car. Just like those guys are saying, let's protest Anheuser-Busch, et cetera. We're just not going to buy their beer. I'm okay with that. But destroying public property, there is no place for that. I agree with Kevin. Lock them up and set an example that this is not what we're going to tolerate in this country.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Tim Walz and others on the left celebrating Tesla stock dropping, even though his own state's pension fund owns over 1 million shares. Think about that now. His own state's pension fund owns over 1 million shares of Tesla stock. And this dude's out here celebrating an American company's demise. It's insane, man. It's insane, man. But that's besides the point. The point is this. Democrats, the far left, they don't care about the working class. They don't care. They don't. Hate Tesla all you want, but at the end of the day, it's still an American company employing American people. Protest all you want. Don't buy the stock. don't buy the cars. I'm okay with that. I don't have an issue with Tesla. I would actually, once upon a time, I did own some Tesla stock. I don't anymore. But there was a point I did, but I personally wouldn't buy a Tesla, not because I don't think the cars look good or that I don't think they're, nice looking vehicles. I just don't have any interest in an electric vehicle. I guess I'm old school like that, man. Give me some gas. Give me the gas powered, But I don't feel any kind of way about anybody that drives a Tesla. If that's what you want to drive, so go for it. I don't have an issue with that. I mean, protest all you want. I don't have a problem with that. But willingly attacking a private company, a private American company, no less, yeah, there should be some consequences. There's also been stories on TikTok, on X, where you've had Americans who own a car have their cars either destroyed, they've been vandalized, you've had people break windows. I mean, these people have lost their ever-loving minds. There is a story, of a guy who drives one of those Tesla trucks, and God bless him, each his own. I don't think those are nice looking cars. That's just my opinion. But I don't knock anybody that wants to own one. I don't knock anybody that wants to own one. But somebody, while he was getting his haircut or taking his kids to get haircuts or whatever the case may be, somebody decided that it'd be a good idea to spray paint his car, scratch his car up, so forth and so on. Like, this is ridiculous, man. Really? So, yeah, there should be some consequences, and these people should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And Musk himself, he's pointed out that this isn't random. There are clear signs that this is being coordinated, but the media refuses to investigate it. They refuse. They refuse to investigate who's funding or encouraging these attacks. But what we found out about the media is that the media has zero interest in actually doing any actual investigations. They're not interested in that. No investigative reporting. They have zero interest in that. None. Unless it's, investigating President Trump or anybody in his administration. Simple as that. And this is where we get, to the CNN debate where Scott Jennings just completely calls out the hypocrisy. Live on air. Take a look at this first exchange right here. Take a look at this.
Up to Elon Musk, there's been all kinds of vandalism against Teslas and Tesla dealerships all over the country. Las Vegas, Kansas City, Encinitas, Buffalo Grove, Littleton, Mass. I grew up right next to Littleton, Mass. Loveland, Colorado, Tigard, Oregon, all over the place.
The other night, Donald Trump said these are domestic terrorists. Everybody laughed about it and scoffed at it. That video looks like terrorism to me. I mean, it's obviously an organized, coordinated effort, however people are communicating with each other, to do this to people around the country who chose to buy a Tesla at some point in the past, many of whom I'm sure are Democrats who bought them in the first place, all because their entire political worldview is ruled by their emotions. And that's the American left right now. It is one angry mob after another willing to take things into their own hands, up to and including keying, firebombing, and otherwise vandalizing cars and car dealerships and charging stations. It's outrageous. It is terrorism. People ought to be put in jail and left there for a very long time and be taught a lesson. So this right here, what's going on with a guy who helps our country, who runs successful companies, who doesn't have to be doing this, and now one of his companies is under systematic terroristic threat and violence all over the country, and people seem to be laughing about it or fine with it. It's outrageous. I've sat at this table and had people say, we should cut Elon Musk from the government totally. He rescued our astronauts today. Is that what we want? The treatment of this guy is outrageous. These people who are doing this need to be found, put in jail, and made an example of. That's my point.
The sad part about it is you had people on that panel defending the behavior. These people are ridiculous, man. These people are ridiculous. You seen the silly smirk on this lady's face. But Scott Jennings is absolutely right. Their entire worldview is ruled entirely by their emotions. And honestly, these things shouldn't happen in a civilized country. It shouldn't. But this is where things, really took a turn. So during a CNN panel discussion, the topic of political violence came up, specifically the attacks on Tesla owners and Musk's business. And Scott Jennings, he wasn't having it at all. Not at all. He called out the left. He called them out. Their clear and undeniable history of political violence, from BLM to the BLM riots, the quote unquote the summer of love, quote unquote, to the Antifa attacks, to the pro-Palestinian mob actions that we're seeing today. And what did Neera Tanden and other leftists on the panel do? They pivoted back to J6. Take a look at this. You can't make it up, man.
Doubtful it's Republicans attacking Tesla dealerships around the country. It's pretty wild, actually. The other night, Donald Trump said these are domestic terrorists. Everybody laughed about it and scoffed at it. That video looks like terrorism to me. I mean, it's obviously an organized, coordinated effort, however people are communicating with each other, to do this to people around the country who chose to buy a Tesla at some point in the past, many of whom I'm sure are Democrats who bought them in the first place, all because their entire political worldview is ruled by their emotions. And that's the American left right now. It is one angry mob after another willing to take things into their own hands, up to and including keying, firebombing, and otherwise vandalizing cars and car dealerships and charging stations. It's outrageous. It is terrorism. People ought to be put in jail and left there for a very long time and be taught a lesson.
So when they do it to a Tesla dealership, it's really bad. But when they do it to the halls of Congress, we should pardon them. Is that your position?
No, I've never. I don't
Are
support.
we okay with
I know you
pardons?
I know you haven't been around for a while, so let me educate you about my position about January the 6th.
I'm so sorry.
Let me
I'm
educate.
so sorry.
Let me educate you.
You don't need to patronize
you don't need to. You don't.
I'm
And
just
you don't need to
saying-
be condescending to
I'm
me.
not
So let me
condescending.
educate you about my position. You want to attack me? Let me
I'm
finish.
just
Let me
asking
finish.
you- I'm just asking you a
Let me
question.
finish.
Let's do this January
I'm just
6th
asking
and
you
then
a
near.
question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you're getting emotional.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're a condescending person who hasn't been paying attention to what I do.
Okay.
Stop, guys.
So here's the issue. I didn't support what happened on January the 6th and was one of the first Republicans to call it out. I don't support the pardons. I have repeatedly, just like my friend Ashley here, said that no violence in our political system is acceptable. But this right here, what's going on with a guy who helps our country, who runs successful companies, who doesn't have to be doing this, and now one of his companies is under systematic terroristic threat and violence all over the country, and people seem to be laughing about it or fine with it. It's outrageous. I've sat at this table and had people say, we should cut Elon Musk from the government totally. He rescued our astronauts today. Is that what we want? The treatment of this guy is outrageous. These people who are doing this need to be found, put in jail, and made an example of. That's my point.
Anyone who commits violence.
Oh my goodness. This lady, it seems like they on purpose find some of the most insufferable people and put them on TV, on CNN, to defend foolishness. To defend foolishness. I don't know how Scott Jennings does it, man. I don't. I do not know how he sits around these types of snarky individuals on a day-to-day basis. I really don't. I really don't. He's making a little bit of cheese. So I guess, when you make $400,000 or $500,000 a year, I guess you can do it. And it's light work. It's normally Scott Jennings versus 3 or 4 of these idiots, and he is smacking them down on a day-to-day basis. This is what he does. This is what he does. So it's light work. I'm sure of it. It's light work. He's making some paper. He's like, man, they pay me, $500,000 a year to smack idiots around. So to an extent, I guess, yeah, I get it. I know how he does it because this is easy. It's easy. It is easy work for them. Seriously. But these people, man, let's just pretend for a second. Let's pretend that they have a point. That, if you think, the J6 behavior was bad, no, not even bad, unacceptable behavior. Why justify it with even more bad behavior? Seriously. I'm one of those kind of people. I remember J6. I didn't have an issue with the protests, but when they started, climbing the walls and you had people in the offices, I didn't agree with it either. I thought it was unbecoming. I didn't agree with it either. And I would assume that there were a lot of people that were okay with the protest, but when they went in there, they were breaking windows and, they were going all up in people's offices and, acting a fool. I didn't agree with that type of behavior either. But these folks are out here tossing Molotov cocktails and blowing up things. I definitely don't agree with that. And the thing is that the J6 situation, it happened, yes, but it happened once. It's not a systematic thing. This isn't something that has happened again. We can talk about these radical leftists. I mean, you think about the cities that they blew up and burnt down, during the George Floyd riots over in 2020, the Antifa situation. And then we look at what's going on right now. I mean, come on, man. I mean, seriously. But their comeback is that, hey, well, the people at J6, they did it, so it's okay for these people to do it. Bad behavior is bad behavior. And it should be unacceptable regardless of who's doing it. And when you see it, you should be willing to call it out. Come on, man. Shout out to True Texan for the $2 super chat. He says, you cannot fix stupid. Talking to a box of rocks. I mean, what we've seen from these radical leftists is them resorting to violence when they don't get their way. And this has happened more than once. They keep going back to J6. But in the grand scheme of things, J6 is a one-off. And to be honest with you, quite tame in comparison to burning down cities and what they're doing right now. It's definitely tame. I mean, they're literally throwing bombs. They are throwing Molotov cocktails. They're literally throwing bombs. Well, we didn't see that at J6. That we didn't see. We seen some idiots out there acting a plumb fool. That we did see. That we did see. But I don't recall anybody coming, with any weapons. I don't recall anybody going in there with any, with any bombs, no Molotovs or anything along those lines. I don't recall seeing that. Chop with the $5 super chat. He says, I believe Dems incited J6. They baited Trump supporters into doing something they shouldn't have. I don't want to say baited. You know what I'm saying, Chopped? I'm gonna agree and disagree, because at the same time, when you are an adult, you are responsible for your behavior. These aren't children. Those people, down there at J6, they were not children. You are responsible for your actions as an adult. You're responsible. So even if there were some people that might have got you riled up, you know the difference between right and wrong. You do. You know the difference between right and wrong. So I'm not going to give grown men and women an excuse for bad behavior. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that, because you know the difference. And if you don't, hey, I guess we got to talk to your parents, you know what I'm saying, to get an understanding why they didn't teach you better. Shout out to David for the $4.99 super chat. He says that these are people that think that they can change what was fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate you. No different than I would give any of these people out here doing this foolishness a pass. They are adults. And you have the right to choose what you are going to do and who you're going to follow. So no different than those at J6. You let these people get you riled up. You don't get a pass. Because when it's all said and done, I didn't see anybody dragging folks in there to do stupidity. I didn't see that. So, I don't want to give those people a pass. But what we are seeing is that when these leftists, these crazy leftists don't get their way, they resort to violence. I mean, we have endless examples. Endless examples. And the J6 folks, they were punished. They were. And in some cases, severely punished in the eyes of many. They were punished. So, I mean, I really don't get it. I don't even understand. I don't understand her argument. I don't understand her argument. And in my opinion, the argument, it fails on so many levels. But that's their playbook. Every time left-wing violence is exposed, their response is, well, what about J6? It's the same tired deflection that we always hear. They ignore the entire summer of the BLM riots in 2020 that burned entire neighborhoods down. They actually burnt down a police precinct. We're talking billions of dollars of damage out there. They ignore the pro-Palestine mobs that stormed buildings, harassed, Jewish students and Jewish Americans. They ignored, Antifa, openly attacking journalists and businesses. They ignored that. But when these Tesla dealerships are under attack, or when Americans who are driving Teslas are under attack, suddenly it's unclear who's responsible. And Jennings rightfully snapped. That was the first time that I've seen him kind of lose his cool a little bit, on here. That was the first time that I'd seen that. But he called out Nira's hypocrisy, exposing how Democrats only pretend to care about political violence when they can blame it on Republicans. I mean, if this were, any other company, she'd be calling for the FBI, to be doing full-fledged investigations and mass arrests. But because Elon Musk is the target, she refuses to say anything outright condemning the attacks. And instead, she pulls the classic, both sides trick, pretending that, this is just political discourse. And Jennings, he wasn't having any of it. He called her out right then and there to her face. The left has completely lost control of their base. These people are hyper emotional and they can't control themselves. And the chaos isn't just hitting Tesla dealerships or owners. It's also hitting the heart of middle America, where House Republicans are facing the same mob mentality. A House Republican town hall in Columbus, Nebraska, began and ended in chaos the other night as angry protesters jeered Representative Mike Flood for over an hour, accusing Republicans of, trying to gut critical government programs. Flood was the only House GOP lawmaker to host an in-person town hall this week while Congress is in recess, defying party guidance to avoid such events due to safety concerns and escalating protest. But left-wing groups seized the opportunity to disrupt, and it was a outright disaster. I mean, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see this, or if you've even heard about it, The video is kind of long, but I want to share this with you all just so you can see it for yourself.
For coming. I appreciate that. It's my understanding that your wife had breast cancer and went through diagnosis, treatment, recovery, and is doing well. I appreciate that for you. I have a 20-year-old daughter, and I lost a sister to breast cancer. You, Mike Flood, have decided to capitulate your job of monitoring the funding of places that do research for breast cancer. I don't see how you can stomach that you did that, because you are cutting the rug out from other. You are cutting the rug out from under future scientists who might develop new treatments, new diagnoses, so that my daughter, when she's your wife's age, might not get the most up-and-coming research available to her. You are disfunding NIH, Johns Hopkins, the National Science Foundation, and you can't put that on anybody but yourself and your GOP colleagues. I would like to know how you personally stomach that decision. Thank you.
Anybody that has been through a close relative or a friend or a family member with cancer knows how deeply personal that is. And I have had that experience with my own wife. So yes, I do know what that process is like. Here's where we're at. We're at the dawn of a new presidential administration. The 119th Congress is about 60 days in. We have the Department of Government Efficiency that is looking at, and is some, it is looking at the funding that's available for research, and in some cases that funding has either been identified or suspended or is on hold or has been terminated. I don't believe we're in a process today, at this moment, to say in any way that medical research funding is going away. I support medical research funding. If it is currently paused, if there is a concern, we take those up individually, and ultimately where we need to go is to a balanced budget. A balanced budget where we... How can you be against a balanced budget? How can you be against a balanced budget? All right. All right. Okay, let's talk about this. So your proposal to solve this is to tax the rich. So let's talk about this, because this is actually a very good point. If you look at President Joe Biden's last State of the Union address, he had a proposal called the millionaire's tax. President Biden proposed a millionaire's tax. And let me tell you, if it was enacted, it would raise $50 billion a year. That's about 200 times less than what we need to address that. So even your proposal to tax the rich fails wholeheartedly. Oh, and also, by the way, that would also hamper our nation's growth. If you're going to ask me...
I don't think people really understand who actually pays the majority of the taxes in this country. I don't think they really understand who pays the highest amount of taxes in this country, because the wealthiest people in the country pay the most taxes. The poorest people in the country pay the least amount of taxes. That's just a fact. And the middle class, which used to be the largest demographic in the country, which is shrinking, pays probably the second most amount of taxes in the country in comparison to what the wealthy people make. They don't understand that. Especially if you are an employee, in certain states in this country, you're actually paying over 50% of your money in taxes. If you live out in California and you are, a top 1% earner, you're paying over 50%. If I'm not mistaken, I believe in California, your overall the money that comes out, it's like somewhere close to like 52% or so of your money is gone. And the thing is that what people don't understand is that it's not a situation where we need to raise taxes. That's not our real situation. And that's what Doge is trying to combat. What they're trying to combat is the wasteful spending. There is a ton of fraud within the federal government right now. There's a ton of waste that's happening in the federal government right now. And what also people don't understand, the last time I checked, is poor people don't employ anybody. Poor people employ no one. So if you put the people who actually have money in a position where they got to pay all their money in taxes, what that does is that people have to get fired. There's no other way. People don't understand that when these companies out here hire somebody, it actually costs to hire people. It costs to hire people. People are so ignorant to these taxes because they listen to these Democrats say, hey, we got to raise the taxes on the wealthiest people. We got to raise the taxes on the wealthiest people. That's what they hear, not understanding that the wealthiest people in the country pay the most amount of money in taxes. And the more money you make, the more you're going to pay in taxes. Poor people don't pay taxes. And if they do, it's very little. So the only way we get to a balanced budget in this country is to cut a lot of the waste and the fraud that is happening in this nation. We have to. That is the only way. When someone hires someone, I don't know how many of you guys, my life before doing this, I worked in corporate America. I worked, I worked in tech, but I worked on more on a talent acquisition side of things. I don't think people really understand that there is a tax for every employee that a company hires. See, when you work for yourself, you have to pay what they call a self-employment tax. That means that you're paying both sides of the tax. When you work for a company, the company pays a piece, you pay a piece. So for every employee that a company has, they have to pay a tax just for you. There is an employee tax that they have to pay just to have you on staff. And what most people don't know is that the number one expense that all businesses have is their employees. Human capital. It's hands down the number one expense of every company out there. That's the reason why these Democrats want all of this free labor, because it's the number one expense. So if we can cut the expense on the labor, either we get it free or we get it cheap, that actually benefits a lot of these companies out here. So the same people that's fighting to say, hey, let's raise the taxes, are also the same people fighting for the free and the cheap labor in this country. It doesn't make any sense. Shout out to Chop for the $20 super chat. He says the rich are paying majority of the taxes. These people just sound ridiculous because they don't even speak facts. Gotta go. God bless you all and have a great day. Appreciate the $20 super chat, Chop. Thank you very much. And Dion, you're absolutely right. I want to highlight this. We don't need to raise taxes if we stop FWA, fraud, waste, and abuse. And you're 1,000% right. You're 1,000% right. That's it right there. And that's the whole point of Doge, is to go in to figure out where all this money is going. Jasmine Crockett was on the Breakfast Club about 2 weeks ago, and she was saying, oh, we just need to increase the income in the country. There's two ways that this nation makes money. Two ways. They're either going to raise taxes from us, or the taxes or tariffs, quote unquote, that they receive from other nations for doing business in our country. That's the only way that this country gets income. That's it. That is it. The problem that I had with that is that when she said we need to raise more income, there was no follow-up question. What do you mean by income? Because there's only one or two things that you're going to do. You're either going to increase the tariffs for companies that coming over here that's doing business here in this nation, or that want to sell goods in our nation, or you're going to raise taxes on the masses in this country. A lot of these people, man, they just really don't understand. And the thing is that the reason why that millionaire tax didn't go through is because, heck, most of Congress are millionaires. They're not in the business of writing laws that will cost them money. They're not in the business of doing that. So this guy had to deal with their foolishness and their ignorance for over an hour. He had to deal with that. Shout out to Pete for the 1999 super chat. He says, I'm so sick and tired of the lies by these Democrat fools in Congress. They're the ones that are making these people crazy. And you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Because the people believe these lies. They believe it. They believe these lies. So this representative, man, he had to deal with this for over an hour. He had to deal with their ignorance for over an hour because these people believe the lies when President Trump himself has already said a multitude of times that he has zero interest in cutting out any benefit that will directly affect the American people. He said it time and time and time again. For whatever reason, they won't believe him, but they'll believe these daggone Democrat talking heads and these Democrat politicians who continue to lie to the American people and especially to their base. I mean, this event kicked off, it kicked off on a contentious note. Just minutes after, an opening prayer, with the moderator's first audience question accusing President Donald Trump and Flood of not supporting the rule of law, the crowd repeatedly booed any mention of Elon Musk and Doge, with Flood having to stop and plead for calm, for people to calm down multiple times. Nebraska Democrat Party Chair Jane Fleming Cleave posted on X showing the number of people heading to Flood's town hall minutes after it began. She said the state Democrat Party operatives are on site, and if you need an action, if you need an action handout of things, you can do beyond the town hall. I mean, these people they're ridiculous, man. Meanwhile, you had progressive groups, Move On, and what's the other group? Indivisible advertised, as a volunteer organization at the event, but they had some flyers or something out there saying Musk or us, and they demanded that Mike Flood fight back. The time and place listed, match Flood, Tuesday night town hall. I mean, it was ridiculous, man. I mean, the event, it lasted roughly about an hour and a half, with little reprieve for the congressman as people peppered him with questions, and the crowd jeered, they jeered, him during when he was giving answers. And after the event, Fox News Digital reported that There were discussions on the message board site Reddit urging people to go protest flood. And they mean to tell us that there's nothing to question here. I mean, these protests are coordinated. And at the very least, something is going on. Somebody is putting the battery on the backs of these people. And even as Tesla owners are, being attacked, even as SpaceX just rescued astronauts, Democrats can't even bring themselves to say not one positive thing about Musk because he dared to challenge their establishment, calling out censorship, exposing the Twitter files, criticizing woke policies, and supporting free speech. How dare you? How dare you support the Constitution? That's all it took, man. That's all it took. And now Democrats, they treat him like he's public enemy number one. I mean, it is so extreme that they won't even say, good job on rescuing the astronauts that had been stuck up there for almost 10 months. That the Biden-Harris administration decided to do nothing about because they thought it would hurt them politically. That right there in itself tells you everything that you need to know about these Democrats, man. They only care about themselves and their ability to attain power. That's it. That's how radical that these people have become. That's how radical that they've become. And what's the lesson here? The lesson is this: the modern Democrat Party has no loyalty to America, only their political agenda. That's it. They have no loyalty to this country. They only care about their agenda and their ability to attain power. That's it. All right, Ed, take care, bro. If they have to let astronauts rot in space to win political points, they'll do it. If they have to ignore, crazy, lunatic, leftist political violence to protect their narrative, they will do it. If they got to allow a city to be burnt down, billions of dollars of damage, it doesn't matter to them. They will do it, all in the name of attaining power. These people are outrageous. And this brings us to another perfect example of leftists being leftists. Oh my goodness, man. You can't make this stuff up with these people, but we're going to lighten up the show a little bit. We're going to lighten it up just a little bit. You guys got to see this right here. Your guy, this is one of your favorite actors, huh? I'm assuming.
The Ilaria show.
No, I think we're going to see, we're going to see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's going to be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
I'm sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why, yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No, I think this is a really raw show, and it's very real, and we took a lot of chances.
I don't care about that, but this right here is complete disrespect, man.
We're going to see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's going to be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
I'm sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why, yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No, I think
that's why the word says, men, you should love your wives, as Christ loved the church. And women, you should respect your husbands. Yes, her voice is very annoying, but how disrespectful can you be? Oh my goodness, man.
I think we're going to see, we're going to see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's going to be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
I'm sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why, yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No, I think this is a really...
Oh my goodness, man. I kind of feel sorry for the dude, man. Seriously. This guy. There's no way I would deal with this, man. There's no way I could handle this. My wife couldn't disrespect me like this. I'd have a serious, I wouldn't go crazy right there, but we'd have to have a Very serious conversation. Seriously. This is why, in the word, oh yeah, he is definitely embarrassed, Nina. Definitely embarrassed. This is why the word says, men, you are to love your wife as Christ loved the church. Women, you are to respect your husbands. Respect. Doesn't say anything about love. It says respect. And what she did, she showed that she has zero respect for this guy. Zero respect for this guy. Goodness gracious. Shout out to Gerard Coswell for the $2 super chat. That look could kill. Yeah. Now, what we know about Alec Baldwin, man, I mean, he's been known, for his public meltdowns, whether it's his Trump-induced rage, his airport tantrums, or his complete inability to keep his cool under any circumstances. I mean, he's been mocked plenty of times before, but this time, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I felt bad. I felt a little sorry for the guy. Seriously, she completely embarrassed him. She embarrassed him. What kind of woman embarrasses her husband like this? Seriously, who does this? I mean, he's pretty bad on his own, to be honest with you. Baldwin, he is pretty bad on his own, but nothing compares to what his wife, who faked being Spanish for years. This lady faked being Spanish for years. Nothing compares to, what it seems like this dude's going through dealing with this lady. This dude, Alec, man, he's a tough guy actor, the one who loves barking at reporters, screaming at flight attendants, and throwing temper tantrums. I mean, when you look at this, man, the haunted stare, you could basically see his soul leaving his body. You could see it. And Christy, I could definitely see SNL doing a skit about this. I could see a bunch of people doing skits about this. But you could see his soul just evaporate right before our eyes. I mean, if this is how she treats him in public, on the red carpet, in front of cameras, in front of the media, I can only imagine what's going on behind closed doors. I can only imagine. No wonder this dude's constantly losing his mind. Once upon a time, man, this guy right here, man, he was considered Hollywood royalty, but now, I mean, he's just a broken man trapped in a personal soap opera. And the greatest irony of this is that this guy, he spent years lecturing conservatives who play smug, condescending, he plays this smug, condescending liberal intellectual, in every interview. And turns out he's the one getting owned in his own house, had zero control over there. It's unbelievable, man. But then again, a lot of times, man, these guys that act like this, they are getting treated like this. A lot of these guys, man, honestly, a lot of these guys in Hollywood, these athletes, these entertainers, are some of the biggest simps out there.
No, I think we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking. No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why. Yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show.
Yeah, he's one of the biggest simps out there, man. But a lot of these guys, man, a lot of these guys in this Hollywood space, these athletes, they're some of the biggest simps out there. They are. Some of the biggest simps out there. Crazy. But this isn't just, about Baldwin's, personal drama. It's another window into how the left operates, attacking anyone who doesn't fit their narrative, even their allies. And it ties right into another story here. Harry Sisson, I know you guys love that kid. Harry Sisson, the DNC's favorite TikToker, made hundreds of thousands. He's probably a multimillionaire, for shilling, for the Democrat Party. This is the guy who once interviewed Joe Biden. Well, he was just accused of lying to women to get them to send him inappropriate pictures of themselves. And this all started when one of Harry's ex-flings went to TikTok to talk about her experience. And since then, 11 other women have publicly called him out. I mean, man, these guys are taking L's all over the place.
To figure out how I want to word a video regarding this. But I think what I'm going to just say is I've never been the woman that has called out behavior like this. I've never been one of these people. And if you have been, fucking props to you. Because I don't think anybody could comprehend how genuinely terrifying it is to do something like this. Yeah. I really, send me how you stop having fucking heart palpitations.
Yeah, so this woman, along with 11 others, you know, so far there's just 11, say that this dude has manipulated them into sending, you know, explicit photos via Snapchat, convincing them that, you know, he had, you know, quote unquote, no roster, and respected them for more than their bodies. That's what he said, man. But it's coming out that this dude here is, he's a piece of work, man. He's a piece of work, to say the least.
He had flat told us, hey, I am talking to other people. When we asked, when all, like, a fucking dozen of us asked, hey, are you talking to anybody? Instead, he lied and said he did not have a roster and that he was not talking to anybody.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if you're going to be a player, you might as well be upfront with it, right? You know, I'm not condoning the behavior, but he is a young man, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's in his 20s. When I was in my 20s, I was a mess. I really was. I was in the military, traveling around the world. I was a hot daggone mess, but I was an honest mess for the most part. For the most part. But this youngin, Harry Sisson, you know, he's been a prominent Biden supporter, prominent Biden still supporter, you know, on TikTok. He's a major influencer, you know, over there. And this dude's embroiled in a scandal accused of manipulating and exploiting women, including a domestic abuse survivor. And when confronted, he allegedly dismissed them as insane and tried to cover up the situation. I mean, the hypocrisy is on 1,000 with this one. But Sisson, he built his brand on preaching, quote unquote, gender respect and progressive values while allegedly engaging in the very behavior that online he condemns. Now, if he were a Republican influencer, the outrage would be deafening. We know this. But the left and the mainstream media, for the most part, they've been pretty silent about this, you know, which just basically exposes their double standard. Just basically exposing their double standard. This isn't just about a guy playing the field. It's about how the media protects its own while destroying opponents for so much less. And the left demands accountability, you know, for others, but shields its allies, you know, when they get exposed. Simple as that. But, you know, no more special treatment, no more excuses. Live by the woke sword, die by the woke sword. And finally, another example of how the left operates. Another example. Check this out right here.
Mexican restaurant, and last night I had a MAGA table come in, wearing the hat and everything. And I just thought, why are you here? This is not for you. You don't get to enjoy these flavors in this cuisine that comes from a country whose people you're trying to kick out. This is not for you. Go home and eat some unseasoned chicken and green bean casserole like God intended. The fuck?
Oh, okay. So I don't know if you guys heard about this story here, but there's a waitress who I guess works, or you know what, worked at some restaurant, who said that a MAGA crowd shouldn't be allowed to enjoy Mexican food. She decided to publicly shame Trump supporters who dared eat there. Anybody, that supports Donald Trump, you go in there with your MAGA hat on, whatever the case may be, she basically said, you're not allowed to come here. She got on the internet. And went off. She got this whole rant, went completely off. And you know what happened. Y'all know what happened next. She's been fired. Hey, and then I'm almost for sure you guys can guess what happened next. She goes back on the internet and blames the people who called the restaurant to complain about her. So she gets on the internet and acts a plum fool, alienates over half of the population. Hey, I'm a part of the MAGA movement. I'm a big fan of Mexican food. We have a Mexican restaurant that I like to go to pretty often. I am a big fan. I go there, my wife and I, man, we used to go there at least once a week. I don't go there as much, but I did go this past weekend. But I'd feel a certain kind of way. If somebody was like, hey, man, we don't like, people, part of the MAGA movement. We don't like it. And I probably wouldn't go back there again. So, yeah, she should be fired. And if you are a business owner out there and you have people who work at your establishment like that, you probably need to find that out early and get them up out of there because they're going to cost you some money.
To say that the MAGA people got so angered by my video that they're literally trying to hunt me down. Every MAGA person watching this, okay, please listen carefully to my words. I don't work there anymore. I see you guys commenting the location of my job, the address of my job on all of my videos. I see it. I don't work there anymore. Commenting the name of my job. I don't work there anymore. They let me go because of my video, and that's fine. It's a restaurant. I'll get another job. But you guys are fucking insane and sick in the fucking head. You get so mad that someone tells you that a certain cuisine isn't for you, that you're gonna...
Isn't that what they do? Isn't that what they do? Come on, man.
Try to dox someone and hunt them down at their job and make them and all their coworkers feel unsafe? Because I said that since you vote against Latinos, you shouldn't be able to enjoy Mexican food? I didn't even serve the MAGA table at my restaurant. They weren't my table. I didn't speak to them once. They didn't get bad service from me because I wasn't their server. You guys can't watch a little video of me roasting MAGA on TikTok without getting your fucking panties in a twist? Are you dead ass? I don't work there anymore. Please leave my job alone and leave my coworkers and managers alone. What is wrong with you people? Like, genuinely, what the are you sick in the fucking head? Get help. Oh my God.
This is another case of go woke, go broke. And I'm not laughing because she lost her job. I'm not. All right, Sue, take care. I'm not laughing because she lost her job. She isn't the first. She won't be the last. But the thing is that you get these people, they go on the internet and disrespect customers. You want to talk like that? You probably need your own business. Go start your own business. We'll see how long it lasts. When you are on purpose, alienate over half of the country. When you do that, and the last time I checked, didn't the Hispanic population, the Latino population vote for President Trump at over, 56, 57%? Last time I checked, shout out to Jeff for the $11 super chat. He says, I can laugh because she lost her job. Laugh out loud. Come on, man. When are these people going to learn? Seriously. When are these people going to learn? Seriously. Last time I checked, man, this is America. Last time I checked, this is America where you can eat wherever you want to eat. Unless it's a private establishment, of course, somebody's house or something along those lines. But you don't get to dictate who can enjoy tacos and enchiladas. Who are you to do that? And again, the last time I checked, 56, 57%, of Hispanics or Latinos in this country support the MAGA movement. Like, what are we talking about here? So what? Anybody that's, of Latin descent, they're not allowed to enjoy tacos. They can't go, that supported President Trump. They can't go to a Mexican restaurant. I don't think these people think before they get out there and make these posts. I don't think they think it through. And the crazy thing is that who else is hiring that? If you see these posts when she goes to try to get another job, are you hiring that lady? She's going viral. So now she's going to get hired. Is this the person you want representing your company, your business? I wouldn't hire this lady. I don't even know at this point now, I don't even know where she's located at, but we're talking about it here. I don't know where she can go and get a job right now. She needs to come back out and repent. She needs to come out and apologize. I didn't mean what I said. What other company is hiring her? Seriously. Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, seriously. I mean, if you don't like it, maybe relocate to Venezuela. Maybe go back there, where you can enjoy, government mandated food rationing. Maybe you can do that. Shout out to Jeff for the $11 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. Free speech means just that, free speech. But with freedom comes having to answer for that speech. Absolutely. Hey, you have the right to do whatever you want to do, but you also will have to suffer said consequences from your decisions. Simple as that. Simple as that. But I wouldn't dare hire this lady. Excuse me. I wouldn't dare. She's going to have a tough time finding another gig. Seriously. She's going to have a tough time finding another gig. Who wants to hire someone that could potentially alienate half of their customer base? I don't get it, man. I really don't. I also don't understand these people that want this socialist style government. It's never worked anywhere. It is a fast track to food lines, soup kitchens. It's a fast line to poverty. It's a fast track. I really don't get people like this, man. I really don't. I don't understand, why this lady would be this daggone mad. I really don't. I mean, there are people of all walks of life in the service industry, all walks. And the thing is that when you start talking about restaurants, hey, Trump supporters eat at restaurants, believe it or not. We tend to enjoy all types of food. That's the beautiful thing of America. We have all types of choices. I mean, this lady, honestly, she should be happy. She should be happy that she doesn't work at this place and she doesn't have to deal with these people anymore. She doesn't have to deal with it anymore. We'll see if she finds another gig. She'll be on. I'd put any amount of money on it that she will be back on the internet in a couple weeks complaining because nobody will hire her because of her post. People are getting tired of these types of shenanigans. They really are. Employers, most states are right to work states. They don't have to hire you. They don't have to hire you. I mean, the left's obsession with identity politics, I mean, it is backfiring big time with these guys. It's backfiring on them. So to all the woke employees out there, if you want to keep your job, you should probably stop trying to police people's dinner choices and just do your daggone job. And stay off the internet saying stupid stuff. Seriously, stay off the internet saying stupid things. I don't know, there was a lady, she worked at Alaska Airlines. I didn't cover it on the channel, but there was a lady that worked at Alaska Airlines, and she got fired for twerking on the job and was posting it with her uniform on, with her name tag on, inside of a plane, letting everybody know where she works. And she got fired. And she was on TV crying, talking about, I didn't know it was a big deal. Yes, lady. No one wants their business associated with twerking. I don't think these people think this. I don't think they think their behavior, their actions all the way through. I just don't. And like I said earlier, the last time I checked, thousands of Hispanics voted for President Trump. So it's safe to say that there's plenty who run Mexican restaurants who would love to take the business that she's saying she's rejecting. And it's a shame because alienating people based on their politics, I mean, it's not just hurting you, it actually hurts those around you, those you work with. Fewer customers means less tips. But again, they don't care about that. They don't care. They don't care. Whoever the person that owns the business, they don't care about him either. If it's a Mexican restaurant, I would assume it's owned, by someone who is, of Mexican descent. So now you risk putting a good Hispanic-owned business out of business because of your bigotry. They don't think about the consequences of their actions and how it affects them, more than just themselves, man. They really don't. That just goes to show you a lot of these young people, man, they're selfish. They're entitled. A lot of these people are they're insufferable, self-righteous individuals. And when you put yourself out there on the internet, and post something ridiculous, say something ridiculous, and put it on the internet, you should expect to receive some backlash and suffer some consequences. And then you go back on social media to play the victim. I just don't understand these people, man. We have American businesses being burned down all in the name of protesting. And here you come, out here deciding what cuisine is for who. The level of self-importance with this one is off the charts. But at least, when you mess around long enough, hey, you're bound to find out. You are. And I think we're going to be seeing, well, at least, I hope we're going to be seeing a lot more of that. We are. These people are finding out. They are finding out. But hey, what can I say? You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But you got a lot of these young people, man. They're so entitled. They're so entitled. They're so entitled. Niecy Anderson says I wear my MAGA hat all the time and never have a problem. Good. I don't know what city and state you're in, but good. I'm glad to hear that. And you should be able to do that. You should be able to do that. But we had a situation similar to this. It happened in D.C. I don't know if Eric Smith's on today, but it happened in D.C. where a lady, went out there and then got online talking about, MAGA folks, and she got fired shortly afterwards. And then the owner put a sign out there and said, hey, MAGA's welcome. Folks don't want you. I don't think people understand how tough it is to start and run a business. The last thing you want is to be alienating potential customers. There's so many options out there. The last thing you want to do is to alienate customers. You need them. You need customers to keep the doors open. We saw what happened when Bud Light, tried to virtue signal. We all saw that. Now imagine that on a smaller scale. That would have put a small business out of business. On a smaller scale. The Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch in general, they're still dealing with the damage. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see this, but there was this drone show that was put on in Florida a couple of days back. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, but you guys got to check this out, man. This is phenomenal. Check this out right here. That was fire. I gotta find. I don't know if they're gonna have these things all around the country. I really don't know. But I want to go to one of these daggone drone shows, man. I want to go to one of these daggone drone shows, man. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I want to go to one of these drone shows, man. I hope they have one up this way in the very, very near future, man. Because when they do, I got to go check it out. I got to go see it. I got to. Phenomenal. And those are all drones that have been programmed. Phenomenal. That's better than the daggone fireworks show. That was phenomenal. I don't know if you guys had seen that. Put a 1 in the chat. Hey, if you had a chance to watch this, and if anybody watched it live, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it live. That was phenomenal. Wow. All right, TA. Take care, brother. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. That's all I have for you guys today, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Tomorrow will be a call-in show. That was down in Florida, Nina. I'm not exactly sure what state in Florida, but it was in Florida. I would assume it was probably down South Florida area or something along those lines. That'd be my guess. But yeah, that was fire. Yeah, that was pretty fire. But I appreciate you guys pulling up, hanging out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. As always, shout out to the Blues, T.A. Caskey, B, Regina. Who else? I don't know if I've seen Zephyr K9, but I always want to show her some love anyway. But appreciate you all the ARP family members, everybody that supported the channel financially today. Appreciate you guys. Everybody that hit the like button today. Appreciate you all. Definitely appreciate the support, man. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, EST, Lord willing. But I appreciate you guys, man. Hey, as always, appreciate the support, appreciate the love. God bless you all. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.